southern rain belt of Nigeria, the oil palm tree is predominant in the high forest. No one knows the origin of the oil palm, but it is enough to say that it has been growing on the moist, favorable soil for thousands of years. The most important thing about the oil palm is the fruit. From the fruit, we extract palm oil, used for generations in Nigeria for cooking purposes. Also, we get another oil from the palm kernels after the hard nut has been crushed. Today, a new industry is in operation in Nigeria, which provides another use for palm and palm kernel oils within Nigeria. These oils are now used as the main ingredients for margarine, which is made in Nigeria at Bergh's fine new factory at Apapa. This industry, new and in its infancy, is important because in a world of falling demand for oils, it is providing for Nigeria an outlet for the produce of a very large area of the country. It is also providing employment for Nigerians, and as the industry grows over the years, it'll give more people employment and use more of Nigeria's produce. It was a bright sunny day when the guests, prominent in all walks of life, arrived to take their seats to the lively music of the Nigerian Police Band. The day and occasion were of some significance to Nigeria because the factory is the only one of its kind in the whole of West Africa. Margarine is eaten and enjoyed throughout the world because it has a pleasant flavor and is full of goodness. The vitamins in margarine make it especially good for children because they help towards healthy growth and the prevention of diseases such as rickets. The welfare of children is ever present in the thoughts of Lady Abayumi, and so she was very pleased to be asked to perform the opening ceremony. Accompanied by Sir Kofo, she was escorted to the dais by Mr. Ely, the chairman, where they met Mr. Edwards, sales director, Mrs. Ely, and Mr. E.J. Evans, general manager of Taylor Woodrow, West Africa Limited, who erected the factory building. Mr. Ely reviewed the history of margarine from the early days when it was considered to be merely a cheap substitute for butter and said that it was a great occasion for Bergh's and that the company was encouraged by the presence of Lady Abayumi, whom he invited to say a few words. After congratulating the directors on their enterprise and referring to the factory as a source of pride to the whole of Nigeria, Lady Abayumi said, "Any well-organized industry in this country forms part of the cog of the wheel of progress because factories and industries spell economic stability and form the lifeline of any country." Lastly, Lady Abayumi pointed out that it was of great interest to note that Nigerian palm oil would be used in the production of the margarine, and this would be a strong inducement for the production of finer oil. The tape cut, Lady Abayumi had much pleasure in declaring the factory open. Meanwhile, Mrs. Helen Tidy of the sales department was preparing to advance to the dais and present to Lady Abayumi a beautiful bouquet of tulips. These had been specially flown over from Britain only the day before and had kept their freshness by lying in cold store for 24 hours. Having heard from Mr. Ely something of the history of margarine, the guests were very pleased to have the opportunity of being shown round the factory to see for themselves how margarine is made and tinned. During his speech, Mr. Ely had described how quickly the factory had been built and thanked the contractors for their cooperation in allowing the machinery to be installed simultaneously with the building. He stated that the project had been conceived and planned by Mr. Sidney Bergh, a descendant of Simon Bergh, the founder of the business. Mr. Ely described how the consumption of bread had been increasing rapidly in Nigeria over the years, and those who had eaten bread as a staple part of their diet knew how much more palatable it was when spread with butter or margarine. A country's butter production was limited by the area of its grazing land, but there need be no limit to the production of margarine in a country like Nigeria so rich in oil palms. The factory is divided into two sections, refining and margarine. The main ingredient in the margarine is a blend of palm and palm kernel oils. Firstly, these must be refined and cleansed to remove all impurities. There are 3 stages to the refining of the crude oils: neutralizing and bleaching, filtering and deodorizing. The crude oils are cleansed in what is called the neutralizer bleacher, the unwanted ingredients being drawn off from the bottom of the vessel, and the oil is then pumped through a series of filters to remove the last traces of impurities. Every precaution is taken to ensure that only the best ingredients go into margarine, and a constant check is kept on this. This vessel is the deodorizer, which removes the smell of the oil by heating it to a very high degree under a vacuum which is very nearly absolute. The oil is now colorless, tasteless, and has no smell, and is ready to be mixed with the other ingredients to make margarine. In the margarine section, the mixture is thoroughly churned to produce the smooth emulsion required. The tins in which the margarine is packed are received at the factory in a flattened condition, and they must be reformed by machine before being filled with margarine at the filling points. The tins, now cylindrical, are then sealed at one end by another machine, and the seal is so perfect that when the tin is filled and the other end sealed, the margarine is completely free from contamination. From the churns, the margarine is pumped to the filling points, where each tin is carefully filled to the correct weight. The emulsion is still quite liquid, but in the course of a few hours, it solidifies and has a consistency which allows for easy spreading. Throughout all stages of production, the margarine is untouched by hand. The network of pipes and all the vessels through which the raw materials and eventually the margarine pass are made of stainless steel. Strict supervision ensures that the highest possible standard of cleanliness is kept. This is how Nigeria's palm produce can be transformed into margarine, eaten and enjoyed throughout the world. Berghs have found that the women are most suitable for the jobs they are asked to do, and it is obvious that they are keen and happy. Great care is taken to ensure that the margarine from Nigeria's factory leaves in a condition which is a credit to this new industry, a further step forward in the advancement of the country. Even the strong wooden boxes in which the margarine is packed are made from Nigerian timber, and this ensures that it arrives at its destination in perfect condition. Berghs dispatch their product by road, rail and sea to all corners of Nigeria, and the attractive wooden boxes are becoming a familiar sight in towns and markets throughout the country. The company pays the freight incurred when dispatching to the main towns in Nigeria, and this means that consumers in Lagos, Kano, Jos and Port Harcourt all pay the same price for their margarine.